Everybody, so today is Sunday, and as I've mentioned before, I am a deacon at our local congregation, a member of the Church of Christ. Probably won't go too in depth into what all that means exactly, but if you know, feel free to comment. I may talk about it more in depth later. I find myself promising that a lot. I'll talk about it later, which I guess if this is a vlog about my life, different things will be important at different times. But anyway, today's a Sunday, and so we were at worship this morning, went to Bible class, went to worship service, and I am in charge of leading singing at our congregation. The Church of Christ is an a cappella church, which means we don't use instruments along with our singing service, which I prefer. There's lots of biblical backup for that. Um, and I just, as a music person, I find that I get lost in too many layers of music. And so the a cappella aspect helps me focus, allows me to think about the words, allows me to think about worship, all those different things. And it's great because my oldest son is about to be 3, and he has his favorite songs that he likes to sing and different things that he's heard me practice enough getting ready for worship services that he knows those songs. And today was one of those days where I led several of them that he knew, and you could hear him. Like, I was up front. We're in a congregation of about 180 people, if everyone's there. So somewhere between 180 and 200, and I could hear my little 3-year-old son singing out. Of course, I'm looking out and listening for his voice and everything. But I just thought, being a Sunday, it would be a good day for me to discuss a little bit and just make sure that it was clear that I am a Christian. I'm an evangelical, Bible, New Testament Christian, that sort of thing. And I think that's a weird phrase, New Testament Christian, because I believe in the entire Bible. But as far as the setup of worship and believing that Jesus Christ came and died and was risen is fairly New Testament. Predicted in the Old Testament, happened in New Testament, that sort of thing. And so I just wanted to make sure that that's clear. One of the things about doing a vlog, and anytime I talk about my life and a lot of the decisions I made, things that I've done in the past, they're strongly rooted in the fact that I believe in Jesus Christ and the things that he said while he was on the earth and the things that were written about him. And, I follow lots of apologists and listen to lots of podcasts and sermons and different things from people that are much smarter than I am, that devote much more of their time to digging into exactly what all of that means. But I think I can say with a lot of certainty and back up the reason that I believe these things is because there's plenty of evidence. Now, the Bible is not a science book. The Bible is not a history book in itself, but it is backed up by many things, that we can see in the natural world around us, that outside sources have discussed. And I think one of the phrases that's used a lot, and I'm starting to build it into my vocabulary, but the Bible is falsifiable. Yes, there is that point when you have to say, I'm making a leap of faith. I have faith that this is true, and there's no way for me to prove it. But there's lots of stuff that I have faith in because they can be proven. It's not a belief system that's based purely on, I believe in unicorns. Well, why? There's nothing that would allow me to believe that in any way, shape, or form. But it's something I'm going to have complete and utter faith in. It's not like that. The Bible has plenty of things where you have to take that next step, but there's plenty of evidence-based reasoning, up to that point. I love science. I absolutely love science. I love studying everything dealing with space. I love studying biology, especially human anatomy and physiology. And there's lots of things that we know, but then there are certain things that we do have to make that leap of, well, we think this is what's next. This is our best understanding of what is next. And the same thing's true with the Bible. We have the book, we read the things. There's the history, there's the science, different bits and pieces that allow us to back up. This is what we know, this is what we've heard, this is what we can base everything on. But then we make that leap of, well, here's what we think is next. There's no way for me to fully understand and lay out what is heaven, what is an afterlife, what is a soul for that matter. But I believe it's there because there are many other things before I get to that point that I can prove, that can be proven, that have been proven, that people are still figuring out. Anyway, that screensaver comes up and I forget where I'm at. But that's a little bit about me. And I'm sure, like I said, we'll talk more about those sort of aspects of my life. Things where I've been a missionary, that I've worked with a children's home, that was a church thing before, and those decisions were based on my faith in God. Those decisions were based on my faith in Jesus Christ and the mission that He gave us all. And do I follow through on that mission 100% all the time? Absolutely not. Like any other human being, I have shortcomings, and I'm willing to admit that, and I work on that on a continual basis. And so this is part of me trying to fix that. Sharing my life, discussing some things, and just going ahead and putting out there, whether it's on this account, on my Twitter account, in my daily life, meeting new people, that I am a Christian, and I believe strongly enough that I'm going to make sure I say that, make sure I point that out. And if the question ever comes up, why do you believe? Can you teach me about this? Would you sit down and read through this? Even if it's coming from the standpoint of, I don't believe that way, that I will be confident enough, comfortable enough to share those stories and share those reasons. So anyway, little more direct than usual in my normal meanderings. But like I say, I'm a Christian. Take it or leave it. It's a big part of my life. And we'll be going back to worship this evening. That's, do I believe that the Bible says I have to be at worship every Sunday morning and Sunday night? No, absolutely not. But I enjoy it. It's a valued part of my life. I hope it becomes a valued part of my children's life. I'm going to raise him to be surrounded by these teachings, and eventually he's going to have to make, well, both of my children, they are going to have to make the choice of whether they will follow through on that. And hopefully, based on the evidences that I show them, and based on the faith that they will develop on their own, that they'll make the decision to be a Christian as well and follow through with that. Because I believe it has great meaning in my life, and it brings understanding and depth to all of my moral decisions and the way that I interact with pretty much everything in this world. So that's me. We'll see y'all later. Bye.